Okay, good morning and welcome back to today's tutorial. This is GCDIM Tech Hub. Alright, so today we're going to be learning a whole lot. We're going to be learning a whole lot. Alright, so cover the days which you have not actually done any tutorials or practicals. So today we're going to be learning we're going to be learning content elements. We're going to be learning the headings 1 to 6, define the structure and the hierarchy of content. Number 2, we're going to be learning the paragraph content blocks of text. I'm going to be learning lists, the ordered lists, unordered lists, and the detailed lists. Alright, and what list is all about. Then we're going to be learning next we're going to be learning links, absolute links and relative links. Then thirdly, we're going to be learning table forms and table cells. Alright, then lastly, we're going to be learning how to create a form. So as me said, let us dive straight to our tutorial. So we're going to be learning all of this. Alright, so today's tutorial is going to be a whole lot of fun and a very good and wonderful one. So when we're done with all of this, at least you can now rate yourself as 50% or 60% HTML developer. Alright, so lastly, I've taught you guys how to open your folder and how to open your VS Code, but this tutorial also show you how to get that done. Alright, so go straight to our file. I love saving in my local disk so you can locate your file. So this is GCDIM. What I'll do, I will right click and open with VS Code. Go to options, open with VS Code. Alright, then I'm going to open up this. Okay, this was the last thing. Alright, I guess so. Okay, alright, this, I'm not sure if this was our last. Okay, this was our last class. Sorry, how to open VS Code. Okay. Okay, this is fine. So this was where we stopped. This was our last code. Then I'm going to open it up in my VS Code. Alright, so we talked about HTML 101 beginners crash. Sorry, beginners course. We talked about the H1, the paragraph, and all of that. So we're going to dive in straight to what all this content element means. So today we're going to be doing content elements. Remember, you can give this in any name and it must end with a HTML extension. Alright, so let's generate our boilerplate. I showed you how to generate a boilerplate. Just hold your shift and 1. It's going to bring us stuff like this Mnet abbreviation. You just click on tab. Alright, so this is the boilerplate. Start with this. So what does do? We take rid of this, then allow this to be on a cap. Release contents elements. Alright, so content elements. just come here. Alright, so I'll just come over to this place and I'm gonna do my comments, code comments. Alright, so you don't need to memorize all of this. So I'll just do headings. Alright, so the headings defines the structure and hierarchy of the words of the contents. Let's say, for example, we want to write H1. We'll have H1, H2, H3, H4 down to H6. Okay, let's get this done. Let's call this one main headings. Got this main headings. This main headings. Then number 2, H2, call this sub headings. Alright. I don't want it to be on the next line. I want to break it to the next line. We'll have H3. Then H3 is call it sub headings. Let us use this. Alright, so then H4. Okay, let me just use names. Dozier. Alright, then H5. Then we use Victor. Alright, then H6, sorry, H6. Then we'll have Oni, for example. Alright, so let us save this and save this and come over to our browser here. You know, we have actually loaded this browser. Oh, alright, so this is what we'll do. Then we'll come over to our file. Originally I was supposed to open this with my live server. Alright, let me close this. Originally I was supposed to open this with my live server here, but my live server extension is saved to this Windows here, this browser, Microsoft browser, this Edge stuff. So, but I prefer using Chrome. Definitely, probably after this tutorial, I was just going to switch it over to this. I prefer using Chrome for tutorials. Alright, so now this is these are our HTML tags. Alright, so and this is HTML1, sorry, H1, this is H1, this is H2, H3, 4, 5, and 6. You can see there all was in there was hierarchy. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we just come over here, click on inspect. Let's inspect. All right, so as you can see here, we have the first one, the main headings. It's we have the main headings H1, we have the subheadings H2, we have the subheadings H3, we have H4 dossier, we have H5 Victor, and we have H6 Oni. All right. So these are what? These are the content elements. They define the what? The structure and the hierarchy of what our content. As you can see here, they are not the same. The main tag is kind of bold, and the H2 stuff like that. The H3, H4, H5 down to H6. Alright, so these are the words. These are the content elements, and as you can see, these are also what inline. Block elements. They're called block elements. All right, they're called block element because they don't stay line to line, like they are not accommodative. All right, so as you can see, this stuff here that is having only dossier, and the thing breaks down to the new line Victor, and only down to the new line Victor, because they're called what block elements. Block elements are those elements that are not accommodative. All right, they take the full width of the web page, or their viewport rather, or the viewport. They take the full width of a what of their viewport. So that's why they are called block elements. But inline elements accommodate until they get to the what, to the viewport, to the width of the viewport. And so we'll talk about that later on before we go to CSS, and we'll talk about that when we get to semantic tags. Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to semantic tags, and we'll talk about articles, and before we go to CSS, yeah, we'll go to CSS, we'll talk about that. All right, so that's not part of the scope of this class. The next we'll have in here is again, this is pretty well understood, very simple, and all with that. So just determine where you want to write your code. Like say for example, you want to do something like you don't feel like you need to know all of this because this is a way advanced HTML. Right, so we'll come somewhere here, we'll do H3. All right, we're not having any image here. Yeah, so what we can do, let's come over some other stuff over here. Don't have any image here at all. Okay, let me copy this. Copy this image here. Copy this image. Then come over to this place. GCDIM Tech Hub. So the image carries David.jpg. Let's go. Okay, let's do David. That's awesome. I love VS Code for this. All right. So let's get rid of this. So let's give it the height of 200 pixel. Let's come out of this. Let's give it the width of 500 pixels. It's gonna be obnoxious. Sorry, 500 pixels. So let's run our code. As you can see, this is a H3. It says this is my photo, and this is actually the photo. All right, so when you over to this place, as you can see, they are together because they are wrapped inside a div with a class box. All right, so like I said earlier, you don't need to memorize all of this. You don't need it. All you just have to know is how to google things out and get a good answers. But this div and this class here is saying it's quite HTML advanced. All right, so you don't feel like you don't need to memorize. If I don't memorize this, when we get to the stage, I will actually show you what this actually means. but just have it in mind this is HTML advanced class. All right, so see you on the next class.